this is a topic I hold very dear to my heart because all of us, be it in the retail sector or otherwise, are witnessing a really competitive landscape. And we're also dealing with a very young consumer base, especially in Saudi, where 70% or more are less than the age of 35, so Gen Z, millennials. And as a result, customers today are very aware, maybe because they spend a lot of time on their screens, but they're very aware, so we can't underestimate them. And customers are also expecting a lot. So a lot of us in the retail industry are always having debates with the board about dwindling margins, and it's a volume game. But the reality is that the customer is expecting value. And value is not just about intrinsic value, which is 7 riyals or 8 riyals or buy one, get one free, but they're looking for added value. They're looking for an experience that will make that interaction less transactionable and more memorable. And one example I always give about a brand who does it so well is Disney. Whenever somebody goes to Disneyland or Disney World, whether you're 5 years old, 15 years old, or 50 years old, you turn into a kid and you have a big smile. And it's not by chance. Disney actually has a team, and the name of that function is called Imagineering, which is a combination of imagination and engineering. And this team is solely responsible day in, day out for crafting and curating memorable moments. And I think this paves the way for a very interesting session with my esteemed guests from fantastic backgrounds with a lot of experience. So let's jump into it. And let me start, not in any particular order, but I have Engineer Faisal on my right. What's the last interesting and memorable experience that you recall recently or in the past?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. First of all, thank you very much for being here in this event, and it's my pleasure to be with this, mashallah, distinguished people with highly knowledge and experience. And I think I should be the last to answer because having those people sitting here, but thank you very much for taking me. Today, going to the shopping malls or whatever destination overall today, it's become not similar to previous. With what's happened today in our culture, with the changes we have in our lives, the things we do in all our lives and the changes, this has become a different today. The visits to the malls or the whatever place you go, shopping or other, is not anymore exact task to be done. So it's not you are going to the shop or retailer, take something and leave, or the same, you go for coffee, take a cup of coffee or leave. Yes, this is still there for very small percentage, but the most is becoming over on an experience, on a journey, either family, either group of friends, or and going like that. I will give you an example. I saw it for 3 or 4 months in a place in Asia. The mall closed at around 10:30 p.m. and the place was full. You'll be shocked why. There was a musical event. So one of their famous musical singer, they were doing an event on the hall of the mall. So 10:30, no place, nothing. And sound was starting at around 11 up to the 3 a.m. So this is not anymore something not expected. You may have it. Health services now available in the malls. Car showrooms now available in the malls. Additional to, now when you go with your family to a mall, you see them distributed. Someone go to shopping, someone go to coffees, someone entertainment, kids going to X, Y, Z. So it's become a really lifestyle. This is give a big, I would say, challenge to people who's working on their properties, on retailers, entertainment, because the level of expectation become very, very high. So what I'm saying, make it quick, that's today is very challenging, yes, and people having a big expectation from shorter time and smaller area.
Thank you. Moving on to Jeff. Give us an example of something that you recall that's memorable.
You know, a couple years ago when they first launched Riyadh Boulevard World, I remember going there the first time, and it was pretty amazing seeing the lake in the middle of Riyadh. And but there were some opportunities. There was a lack of F&B, and I think there were 7 countries. And then when I went back last year, it was amazing how they took that opportunity to improve. And then this year I went, and then right after I went, I had 2 different host brands from the US come in. And even though they have nothing to do with entertainment, I took both of them to Boulevard World. And granted, I'm not the target audience for Boulevard World, I get that. But what they had done, the experience that they created, and how they invested to make it a little better each year and to react to feedback. And it's interesting you said Disney, because I was telling one of the brands, it's like Epcot and Global Village, but it's so much better because of the investment. I mean, you can go to Global Village this year, you go next year, little change. Here, the investment that they made to improve, make it different, make it more appealing, and the age groups, it really is, I was quite proud, and the people from, again, host brands from the US walked away going, wow, that's the future of Saudi. So it's a great statement about how you evolve.
And what's really interesting about the example you brought is the fact that they compete with themselves, and they have to re-engineer and redefine who they are year on year. Otherwise, there's no compelling reason or incentive for a customer to go back twice. Mohammad, you're responsible for developing large-scale projects, and I'm curious to know about something that was memorable for you, given the fact that you need to create memories every single day.
Thank you, Amir. First of all, I would like to thank Osama. I think we are one of the luckiest panels to start our panel with refreshing coffee. And I think that's good.
Welcome.
But we are missing now just a gentleman from Bachi or Luderech to be with us.
Or a refill of coffee, perhaps.
Anyway, you know, I am not from Generation Z, but I think all over our life, at least in this region, in the Middle East, or GCC in general, I think experience was a part of our retail properties. If people have a good memory like me, 1996, first festival season start in the GCC, it was called Jeddah Ghair, before even Dubai Shopping Festival. And since that day, shopping mall was an incubator for a lot of experience. Musical shows, fun shows, magical shows, drawing for cars, drawing for that. And since that day, the change continue happening. Today we keep hearing the new generation, they need more experience. I agree with you, that's true. The experience, it adds flavor to your business, what we do. 3 weeks ago, I visited my dentist in Jeddah. He has a beautiful new dentist overlooking the Red Sea and the sea. And I was sitting, and he said, did you see this beautiful TV? I said, yes. I said, okay, what music you want to start for you before I start working on your teeth? I said, whatever you want. I said, you know, I do it for the kids and that. But for you, there is a different things. While I'm working on your teeth, you will see, because the camera inside the tools reflect exactly what I'm doing in your teeth, and you could watch what I'm doing. That's an experience that you are sitting. Your doctor tried to comfort you, everything under control. I'm working that. I think the evolution happening in shopping mall now, and when we go now to the lifestyle, sport, and all things, you will see that people will look to the shopping trip to be an experience, an added value, and combine with other trip. You could go for entertainment, you could go for F&B, you could go to your medical, you could go to your hobby school, you could go for looking for a car. I think Dubai Mall now, and it was in China for the last 10 years, but now Dubai Mall, they have a corner for very fancy cars like the Bentley and the Rolls-Royce. You could go and try the Lucid and the Tesla car. So the experience, it's making people feel memorable about it. Adding the musical, the digitals, I think the most expensive now show platinum in the world now in Las Vegas. It costs about $2 billion. And I think it's going to be one of the best art show from outside and from inside, where every day you will see different exhibition and show. And this is the dynamic. But the question is, for me, how much we need to do the balance between the entertainment and F&Bs and shopping. And this is a very sensitive issue. We jump in our tenant mix from 20%, from 15%, the entertainment, F&B now, some of them 35 and 40. Lifestyle go to 50 now. Now we have to be careful how we design our malls and what we design is for whom, what type of catchment area to draw the traffic to the people.
It's a good thing you brought this up because it does come at a cost. And you have to justify that cost in terms of ROI, and that's a question I will pose to you a few minutes from now. Bruno, you're well-traveled, you have some interesting experiences. Tell me one or two that you recently engaged with.
Yeah, you know, when we talk about customer experience and we talk about transformation, and the two gentlemen before was talking about transformation in their business. And what is very important for me is the experience that impact me is something when non-pleasant time became a pleasant time. It depends on your industry, but think about the airport. And this is something shocking me. When I have to go to the airport, I have to probably come 3 hours before because I'm traveling very far away. I have to spend the custom and I have to go to the security. And sometimes I have also to take 2 flights, so I have to spend 5 hours in the transfer zone. And I was like, wow, it will be a long day for me. But when I was in Singapore, Changi airports, and I arrived there, and the guy said, you know, there is a garden here. You can visit the garden. So, okay, I go and I visit the garden. And I say, you know, I have 3 hours to go. And say, there is a cinema. It's free of charge. You can go to the cinema. And now I'm traveling and I see more and more airports. They are doing entertainment. Some of them, they all have aquarium place. They have beauty shops where you can even cut your hairs. So they're transforming the experience in something like, wow. So now I'm thinking, I have 5 hours to go to the plane. That's okay. I can do it. So I love it.
Nice. And this brings me to the following question, which I'll address Fadi first. So when it comes to social spaces, they're truly becoming experience hubs, whether it's the food sector, whether it's the entertainment sector, but there is this high need and level of engagement that needs to be constructed or curated. What's your take on that?
First of all, good to be with you, Amir, and with the esteemed guests. And is it too late to thank Osama for the coffee, or
keep going?
Thank you.
You'll
very
get
much.
some more later.
Need more coffee, please.
F&B have changed, and food service have changed across times. From just feed them and let them go to, no, this is a place where I want to sit, spend time. And we've seen it even with your brand, the evolution of shops, how they changed with design. Design plays a very important role nowadays. The placing of every element in the shop, from Wi-Fi, from lighting, from now we're seeing a lot of wireless charging devices as well happening over there. It's no longer just build a shop, put a menu, and let them eat and leave. It's now how can they spend the time over here? How can we transform this into a work from our shop kind of thing? How can we make it a place where everyone is comfortable, whether a parent sitting down enjoying a cup of coffee for 2 hours, or a family, or workers. Things have changed a lot. It's important to meet the game. It's important to jump on the game. The shop you guys have in Riyadh Park is very beautiful. And it's an example of how the change of a brand have happened across time to meet the current demand.
It's interesting you say that, because sometimes when I force my wife to come with me to Tim Hortons, she'll be like, that sofa, that couch is adi. I'm like, Nasreen, if you only realized how much time, effort went into selecting the furniture and to designing the store, you'd appreciate it much more. But nice one. Building on that, Kamran, you've been in the F&B sector for many years. You run different brands. What's your take on this whole space of engaging entertainment and experiences?
You know, funny enough, Amr, you said that you try hard to take your wife to one of the Tim Hortons. I've kept trying for years. The problem is when you go there, you yourself is sitting. You feel like you're in office, or you're looking at the nitty-gritty. You're trying to pick up on things which are not going wrong. So it's a tricky place. But anyhow, so to come to your question, I believe this whole topic of retailment, if you can say that way, is really bringing out the best of both industries and the best of the both worlds, to put it into perspective. At the same time, before we dive a little bit deeper, I think there has to be a little bit of cautious as well. I think my esteemed colleague, Mr. Iqbal, was mentioning about the percentage or the ratio or the extent to which it should go. I would add to it is really the marriage that you put in together between the retail and the entertainment should blend together and should make sense. It shouldn't be, and I'll back it up with an example, it shouldn't be really a forceful kind of merger where you have a restaurant or a coffee shop and you try to shove in some video games or entertainment area or music or those kind of things. It really has to blend in. We have lately seen another trend slightly away from this thing within a restaurant industry from where I come in. And we have recently implemented something which I'll share in a moment, whereby restaurant brands are coming up with hybrid model. Now, this thing is also very interesting. What these brands are doing, they're not bringing the element of fun or entertainment sort of thing. They're trying to be a little bit more creative and innovative. The mistake that's happening in the market with few brands, what we have seen is they're kind of just, again, what I said, a forceful marriage between two brands. So you bring your A restaurant, your B restaurant, you put it together, and you feel that's that's a value to the guest. That's perhaps some sort of innovation or entertainment, which is not the case. And again, we don't have that much time, but it has a lot of cost associated to it. I'll give an example, quick example here. What we did, and there are a lot of other brands as well doing, with the North American casual dining brands, which we are running, IHOP, one of them, and Applebee's, one of them. We lately, about 6 months back, opened in Riyadh a combination, a hybrid model of two. The reason for doing that is IHOP primarily caters to and is positioned as a breakfast concept, even though, yes, it does cater to other day parts as well, but it caters to breakfast. Whereas brand like Applebee's, or if you can include other brands like Chili's or TGI, these are typical your heavy Tex-Mex kind of food. So when you bring both together, you actually not only give some sort of value and variety and expansion to the customer, you also improve your sales as well, because what you're doing, instead of opening in the afternoon time and then running all the way until night, you open in the morning, whereby you get customers for breakfast, and then lunch and dinner is covered by the other brand. So the point is that it's not only about that you bring in the element of some sort of fun. It's really, I think it should be about bringing value to the market, bringing value to the guests and to the customer. A retail market, I think, or I think the gentleman here was quoting in the beginning, Knight Frank was reading the same report. The retail space coming up by the end of the decade, as per them, in Saudi is around 7.4 million square meter. That's big. So the planning, the strategy, and they're anticipating that in Riyadh, more than 50% will be focused towards this retail entertainment kind of experiential model. So there needs to be strategy by the industry players. There needs to be a proper plan on how we are going to go about it.
Fair enough. Thank you. And coming to Osama, you're not just selling beans, you're selling much more than that, right? And experience and engagement play a heavy part. Can you talk a little bit about the same?
Sure. We've spent the last 11 years telling the story of the farmers. We visit the farmers, we see how they grow the coffee sustainably, how they work with the communities to make sure that they are paid fairly, to make sure that they are educated, to make sure they're taken care of from a health perspective. But I would say since January 1st, 2024, we've neglected, but not neglected, but haven't spent much time on the customer experience side. So we've spent 10 years developing the first production facility of its kind in the Middle East that's fully automated, spent a lot of effort into making sure the quality is there, quality of the packaging is there, top-notch quality of sealing the coffee to make sure it stays fresher for longer. But the aspect of the customer experience was something that we haven't, thank you very much, was something we haven't paid enough attention to. And this is when we started an initiative in January 1st, 2024, this year, that we are no longer going to be a coffee company, we are going to be a customer experience company driven by coffee. So we launched a box with 6 different types of coffee that you can brew easily on the go. So we realized that there are people who are traveling, people in the offices, people at home who want something that's very quick to brew. And we added the paper cups to it, and we created something that's funky, fun, flavorful, colorful. And within 2 weeks, we won Best New Product Award in the Middle East by the Specialty Coffee Association in World of Coffee. So we realized that there is an essential element to customer experience that needs to be enriched. We looked at the packaging of our products. We created products that are colorful, that are playful, on a separate line, and we called them the funky line, where it's approaching the younger generation to make sure that they are also a market that we can tap into. We tapped deeper into the RTD, the ready-to-drink aspect, where we realized there is also an element where people want something ready to go ready to drink on the go outside of the coffee industry, like hibiscus, like iced tea, like iced coffee as well. So we realized there is a gap that was missing from our offering. We've done quality at the best we can. We've done automation at the best we can. We've done the story and the traceability aspect. But that customer experience has played significantly into repositioning the roasting house as #1, not just for coffee, but also for an experience, which reflected into our B2B offering as well. So today we are at the Four Seasons, we are at the JW Marriott here, we are at the Ritz-Carlton in Riyadh, Ritz-Carlton in Jeddah, providing customer experience coffee with a story. We're also looking into Saudi coffee as well, because we're seeing Saudi farmers experiment with processing methods, fruit infusion. We launched a box called Fruit Basket of Our Nation, which was nominated for Best Design Award in the world this year again. So it only takes small steps for any organization, whether it's in coffee or any other organization, to be a little bit more customer-centric, be a little bit more engaging with customer experiences, and create experiences where the customer comes back wanting more. It's not just the coffee. People have been drinking coffee since the 8th century. But again, it's the experience that we have been able to enrich. Today we are celebrating the success of this through our wonderful team, who are providing to over 2,000 cafes, restaurants, hotels, potentially some of which maybe, inshallah, today we can talk about it. And we look forward to engaging more with our retail aspect as well.
Thank you. And you touched upon a very important topic, which is CX. And I think all of us are looking into how to define our customer experience model. And especially in Saudi and globally as well, we have a very youthful Gen Z, millennial-driven world, and they're looking for convenience, they're looking for immersive experiences, and we have the luxury of technology, which perhaps 10, 15 years ago we did not have, or did not have to that extent. Bruno, how is tech helping or defining businesses to make it more immersive and more experiential?
Yeah, so if you look about the generation, the Gen Z and the millennial, if we go in Saudi, we talk about maybe 60% of the population is below 30 years old. They are born in the technology. They have everything in their hands. They have their smartphone. Their smartphone is where they have the selection, the choice, the power, the control, the convenience. At home, they can select a movie at home very easily. They can consume very quickly. They can order food. They can even go to the bank with their mobile without going into the bank. So this generation is really in control. They want to have the choice. So when we talk about the store experience, it should be the same. We have to bring this generation in the same level of comfort. And think about the retailers have to transform. And when I talk about retailers, I'm talking about food and beverage, cinema chain, entertainment, every segment. Because we have all to think about the way we can bring this new generation in comfort and in control. Look about the Apple Store. If you look into the Apple Store, the sellers are not sellers, they are Genius members. You go to Apple Store because you get a service. You get something more that you cannot get online. You don't go really for the product because you know the product. What you get is the experience. So this is where the transformation in retail is coming and how we have to adapt with the Generation Z. And this is the same in F&B. F&B, when we talk about self-service in F&B, because it's growing, why we do self-service in F&B is because they have self-service on their mobile. We want to bring them and engage in the experience. And here they can maybe customize what they are buying. I want more sugar in my coffee. I want vanilla. I want maybe not tomato because I cannot eat tomato. This comfort, these things they cannot do normally in a normal store because it's a long process to talk with someone. They use it in a self-service way. So this is how we answer to the Gen Z and the millennium. I think this is how we transform the retail space to be more in comfort and to give the choice and the power of choice to the consumer.
Good answer. Fadi, when it comes to pret-a-manger or otherwise, naturally you're considering tech, you're considering loyalty. What's on your mind? What keeps you up at night when it comes to the tech space?
So basically, I'm not going to talk from a customer perspective. I'm gonna talk from a back-end perspective as well, because this is very important for us as businesses. At PRET, tech plays a very important part. We're probably one of the largest providers of grab and go in terms of selection, variety, and so on. And we have sensors that track every single movement of an item, and not just that, it tracks even the return of an item to understand how's the item being returned, why is it being returned, the time it takes between taking the item, getting it back, and it keeps feeding the back of house with information on when to produce the item and what to produce exactly. Tech have always been fundamental in F&B industry. Sometimes we neglected it back in the days. We didn't look at it much. We always believed in the paper and pen, which is still important. But for an industry to maintain the cost cutting in a cost increasing environment, we need to adapt technology as quick as possible, not just for our consumers, but for ourselves as well.
Makes sense. And coming back to Mohammad, building on the earlier conversation, so experience, entertainment, technology, it comes at a cost. So should we see this as a new cost of doing business, and naturally it has to translate into tangible results? Or should we just factor it in as a part of doing business?
I think it's a part of you doing business. Let me give you an example about how in the past and today when a plan, design, and manage a shopping mall. In the past, you go to your catchment area, you evaluate your sales, your competitor, your disposable incomes. You sit with the top 10 retailer in the cities. You agree about the tenant max. You come with a project, then and you agree with them about their sales, their business, financial, and everything. Today is not the case like that. The case is totally different because we're talking about experience things. You go to your cultural and you look around you, what is the cultural surround your area? I'm going to give you an example like the point in Abha. We done a lot of workshop with the Dubai Abha Authority or Asir Authority, people, cultural, food, mountains, tree. They are trader by. Somebody was telling me there is 48 souks in the past in Asir. Souk al-Muftaha, souk and that. Now, if you go to this all big history, you need to adopt it in your project. You cannot go and paste and copy Red Sea Mall in Abha. It will be a disaster. That's again one example. Second, before we just talking to a tenant or a big top retailer. Now today we talk to different authority, entertainment authority, cultural authority, sport authority, because each one of them, they have a programs and they have something to add to the community. Now how to grab those people to your properties and to add value to project. So definitely the cost of doing this business is different. But again, you are talking to different audience, different need. Technology is a part of that need. Everybody, if you remember in the past, you have a musical fountain. It's not only about the musical fountain now. Musical fountain with the digital shows in the fountain with all those things to make it a story. Now, if I'm going to go in the national days, I'm just putting a white and green fountain. Doesn't make sense. But you need it with the music and the whole Saudi flag comes within that picture. So it's totally different from what we think. There is a cost, definitely, but the other cost is the traffic, the community coming back to you, it's more even. I remember, I'm trying to remember the gentleman, but 2006, 2007, there was an idea, never fly. the idea from a gentleman from MAF, I don't want to recall the name. Well, we are charging people turnover or retailer turnover. We shouldn't do this formula. We should charge retailer based on traffic, number of traffic we bring into properties. Because I'm bringing you traffic, so traffic is going to be done. Now, today, I think the story is not only about traffic. How long time the visitors spend times in your properties? Because the time they spend it is. I'll give you an example I noticed personally. Whenever I finish all my board meeting every day, I have extra 1-2 hours. I don't go back to my home or my personal office. I go to the hotel next to my house, Shangri-La. And I spend 2 hours reading my emails, reading my, meeting my friend, meeting my people. Now, if I look to it, 10 years ago, 2 hours to spend in the mall was crazy. Now, I'm spending 2 hours a day in that coffee shop, in that hotel. So the change, the evaluation in the customer need, the way they think, and the way they approach it. So today, one of the gentlemen speaking about things that we need to look to the culture, we need to look about the aesthetic, and we need to look about localization, retailer, local retailer in the business, because one of the things people they ignore is the rise up of the local retailer, homegrown branders.
100%. And as you said, even from a coffee shop perspective or otherwise, we're trying to make sure that the customer spends more and more time in your retail space and calls it a third space. Chef, your sole focus, and we spoke about this yesterday or the day before, was entertainment and experiences, and you're working on some wonderful projects. Can you talk about either the projects or talk about your mandate at least?
Yeah, absolutely. we're fortunate to be launching 7 new entertainment ventures, first-time entertainment ventures, including DreamWorks, DreamPlay, in Riyadh Avenues, which will open in 2026, fourth quarter 2026. And in talking about it, we talked a little bit about the meeting of entertainment and hospitality and retail, and the vision for this largest mall in Saudi Arabia that's being built is that the guest goes there for the entire day. You go there, there's great local coffee, there's entertainment for the kids at all different levels. There's movie theaters, there's shopping, there's dinner events, and it can be an all-day experience that can take you to a lot of different places. And that we're excited about where those come together. And the challenge with the entertainment is to find things that, again, catch each and every demographic. Because if you're mom, dad, you're going, the kids are young, you need something like, we have Masha and the Bear, you got teenagers, we got a karting piece. So you got to be able to catch all the things. But we're excited about it because it does create that all-day experience, which gives all our retailers, again, the opportunity to connect as well with the guest.
Fantastic. And I'd love to talk for hours and hours about this because it can only benefit my own line of business and my personal self, but all of us are witnessing the transformation and the evolution in the kingdom, be it Vision 2030 or otherwise. There must be something on your mind that's key on what you see needs to be taken on board or what you see is going to be a trend as a result of the vision. So can I start with Osama? What's on your mind?
Sure, I think the vision has enabled not just our factory, but also many Saudi entrepreneurs, plus foreign investment to come into this market, this ever so growing market. It's a safe market to not only invest and grow, but also enable for further experiences to develop. What's on our mind is to continue developing and enabling our team. One of the aspects for Vision 2030 is enablement of women, is enablement of the younger generations to take leading positions in Saudi Arabia. And this is something that we apply in our organization. We've started a training center. We've established a training center where this enables young entrepreneurs, aspiring coffee professionals to come train and find their job afterwards. So it's a target and an element that reflects back not just on Saudi Arabia, but also and the national economy itself, but also our business, where we invest heavily into making sure that the future generation is a generation that fulfills the requirements, the customer experience requirements, the level of service that the customer is expecting, the experience that the customer is expecting. We're not looking at just knowing about coffee, but also brewing tools, equipment, machines, and also using the technology with this. We're the first factory to use IoT to brew coffee that, with a recipe that is developed by ChatGPT. So using AI and IoT, Internet of Things, to do coffee independently and completely. So engaging the technology, engaging the younger generation, engaging consumer-generated content, engaging and enabling the up-and-coming generation definitely reflects back on the national economy and on our businesses directly. What I'm thinking about is what I'm seeing is something that is flourishing in the market, something that is exciting. There is great hope. Knight Frank was saying 94% occupancy, 4.2% increase in terms of rental prices. This means that more and more people are looking to go out, looking to enjoy their time out, looking to engage out. And it's definitely a great time to be in Saudi Arabia and reaping the fruit of Vision 2030 and we're still not in 2030 yet, alhamdulillah.
We've just touched the surface. Engineer Faisal, Andalus Properties, what's the next big trend, or what is something that you're looking closely at in light of the transformation and evolution that we're experiencing?
Yes, adding to the gentleman what they are saying all, today with what we are seeing and the changes in the social and Vision 2030, Vision 2030 brought two very important things, I think. First, it's empowered all the Saudi male and female, especially youngs and others. They empowered them with a lot to work. And the second things, they open to highly you raise your expectation. And even when you see all what's in the vision, it's really visionary. The project is visionary. The targets is visionary. So it's all things we were not expecting at all. If you came before 8 years and you were setting those targets, everyone will say, oh, it's from your mind? Is this what we are really thinking? No. So it's become really visionary. Everything in our life now is visionary, and link this to our expectation also become high and visionary. Sure. So people are expecting when they visit our properties, which Al-Andalus one of them, to expect the high expectations. So we should provide them with the best experience. They should enjoy the food and privilege. They should enjoy the coffees. They should enjoy the shopping. They should enjoy all. And they are expecting it more here. I remember before years, and all of us remember that, we need to go outside to see things. So we become, oh, that's a really good experience. And when we go locally, we say, it's okay. We are in Saudi Arabia. Today, this is not anymore the story at all. At all. People expecting from Saudi Arabia, and when they visit locations in Saudi Arabia, and this become even a big challenge because the people who's working now in Saudi Arabia, they are doing a lot of things is really promising and beyond people's expectations. So when you go to Entertainment Authority, others, blah, 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 all of them, they are doing an excellent setup and excellent experience on their destination. So we are in Andalus also working on that. It's not an easy to achieve it, but we need to have this. So if you visit today our malls, we are trying to give the people higher, I would say better customer experience. All type of customers will enjoy whatever they want, providing them with all they need. And this will be also working with our partners, the people in the mall, from retailers, food and beverage providers, entertainment people, ensuring they can also provide their message to the customer, ensuring they can be up to their expectation. It's at the end win-win situation. So we work hard on that side. I don't think there will be enough on developing on that side, but we'll keep doing that. We are very happy, in like similar to Al-Andalus, when you go to Al-Andalus, where we are providing even external entertainment from being outside, trying to make one destination where you have a hospital, you have the healthcare, you have the hospitality, you have the entertainment, you have the food and beverage, and other gym, blah, 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 all of those. So you try to make one destination to everyone's where they enjoy their day overall, and putting it always in your mind that this is my destination where I can get many things out of it. It's not an easy journey. I think it's going to be harder and harder. Customer expectation become even harder and harder. I think God's help us all, gentlemen here, and all of us in each of what business we are doing. It's not an easy anymore. It's not easy now, and it's going to be harder in future.
Thank you very much. And just to close the session, Kamran, just some closing words from yourself on what we're witnessing.
Just to wrap it up, I think this is all what we are saying, and we all agree. This is a country full of potential, young population, energy, a lot of opportunity. If I have to really summarize it, there are two things that companies have to keep in mind, especially in the entertainment, retail, or F&B sector. It's engage and innovate. Without these two things, and strategically, with the meaning, not just in words, you have to engage with the target audience, and we very well know who is the target audience when it comes to this part of the world. It's you know, they are the majority. And we're talking about the young, the millennials and the younger population. And then innovate in a smart way, be it you are in the F&B concept. We heard a lot of good ideas and examples as well today. Because if you remember decades back, if there is a restaurant concept or a coffee concept in the market and it's good, it would survive on its own for a good shelf life of 10, 15, even 20 years without really doing anything. And, you know, good service, good food, I'm talking about the restaurant business, so even malls. And they would survive. Today, that is absolutely not the case. You may come up with the best talk of the town restaurant or a coffee concept, and you don't engage and you don't innovate, boom, 2, 3, 4 years, max 5, and you're out of the market. Somebody else is going to come and kick you out of the market. So you really need to know what you're doing, innovate constantly, but before innovating, you need to engage and look for what the market is looking for.
Thank you very much. Perfect session, very insightful. I hope everyone benefit from today. And if you want to continue your conversation, ask some questions to this distinguished panel of mine, please feel free to do so. Thank you, gentlemen.